What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week, give you all of your tech news from the past 7 days in one single video. We talk about the Galaxy Z Fold 4 update that's finally rolling out in the world. We talk about the new Pixel phones coming out, Pixel watches that are going to come out, some information that's not known that is now known. We talk about the Galaxy S23 Ultra and so much more. Enjoy this week, and we'll see you in the next one.
Story of the day is a cool one, Pixel Watch. As you know, will be out in the next couple of weeks here, and it's been spotted in a Target. This was posted on Reddit, and a key feature came out about the box. So not only do we see the Google Pixel Watch on there, what the watch will look like, but then at the bottom there you say with Fitbit. So it's gonna have, Google owns Fitbit, so it'll have Fitbit type features built into the watch. Fitbit is exercising, tracking, all that kind of stuff gets you going. It's built into the watch. Instead of you just having like generic Samsung Health or Google Health built into there, it'll actually have some of those Fitbit features in there. So it's nice to see the kind of integration of the two brands. Even though Google owns both of them, it's still two different brands to be able to do that. So we're looking forward to this watch. I know they're using an older processor, but I still have pretty high hopes for it in terms of performance and battery life and just overall usage to see how it differs from the Samsung Galaxy Watch. And our last story of the day has to do with the Google Pixel 7. What are the specs supposed to be on that phone? Well, let's check it out. These are reported specs, maybe rumored specs. 6.3-inch Full HD Plus OLED 90 Hertz display. It's going to have a Google Tensor G2 processor, which is a generation above the G1, or the Tensor 1 processor, I should say. It's going to have a Titan chip in there for security. Rear camera will be 50 megapixels and 12 megapixel ultra wide. Front camera will be 11 megapixels. It'll come with 8 gigs of RAM. You can either get it in 128 or 256 gigs of storage. Android 13 baked in, 4700 milliamp battery, 30 watt fast charging. It'll come with wireless charging, stereo speakers, Bluetooth LE, and it'll start at a price of $599. You'll be able to buy this phone basically anywhere. Target, Best Buy, the Google Store, your carrier, so it'll be available in a lot of stores. And then availability should be October 6th, at least for the pre-order, and then October 13th should be the actual delivery date, but it might fall into October 18th. But that is, as you know, we've been talking about the Galaxy or Google Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, and it's supposed to come out or be announced really, really soon. It's supposed to be announced on October 6th, and we've been going back and forth on the release date, October 13th, or as late as October 18th. Looks like Amazon has leaked out the information that it's going to be released on the 13th, and they put it up on their site in the USA a little bit ago. So October 13th release date for the new Pixel 7 7 Pro. Speaking of the Google Pixel 7 Pro, we've got some full specs for you guys. So 6.7 QHD Plus OLED 120 Hz LTPO display with a Google Tensor G2 processor. Again, that's their next gen processor. Titan security chip for security. Rear camera will have 50 megapixels and 12 megapixel ultra wide. 48 megapixel telephoto, something that's not on the Pixel 7 is a telephoto, so you get that with the 7 Pro. Front camera, 11 megapixels, same as the Pixel 7, 12 gigabytes of RAM, 128 or 256 gigs of storage, Android 13, 5000 milliamp battery, 30 watt fast charging, and it will come with wireless charging. And the other big takeaways are these are flagship phones for under $1,000. You'll be able to get these for $899 and $999, same as last year's prices, and that's a pretty big difference compared to other phones in the same general size and category. You'll be able to get a Pixel 7 or 7 Pro that are basically flagship phones for hundreds of dollars less than their competitors. That's really where Google comes into play, and I'm looking forward to it, see what these phones are all about, especially with hopefully brighter displays, improved cameras as always, and then also just better performance with that new processor. And our last story of the day is all about the Vivo X Fold Plus, the successor to the Vivo X Fold, and the Vivo X Fold Plus has improved itself in a couple of ways. So let's talk about these specs, because again, it's now official. So it looks like, first of all, it has snagged Qi wireless charging certification, something it did not have previously, so that's always a good add to be on there. But beyond that, you're looking at basically the same design, but then spec-wise, you're looking at a newer processor, the 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, a bigger battery, faster charging. So the display is going to be 6.53 OLED display with full HD plus resolution and 120 hertz refresh rate. The bigger display inside will be 8.03 inches LTPO HDR10 plus. It also has two 16 megapixel selfie cameras on the cover screen, and then the other is on the internal foldable screen. It also features ultra thin glass. Beyond that, you're looking at a 50 megapixel primary camera. You'll also get a 48 megapixel ultra wide and two telephotos. Vivo X Fold also has stereo speakers, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, GPS, USB 3.2 Type-C port, 4730 milliamp battery, 330 milliamp bigger than the Z Fold 4. It also charges faster, 80 watt fast wired charging and 50 watt wireless charging. And prices are supposed to be about $200 cheaper than the Z Fold 4, $1,415. Once the pre-order goes up for that, I will definitely link you guys up if you want to pick that up. I had the Vivo X Fold, and one of the things that didn't completely blow me away about the phone was the fact that the software just wasn't in some ways comparable to the Galaxy Z Fold line of phones. It's just much more refined and better, I feel like, on the Z Fold line. But then the other part of it is I feel like the hardware is better on the Vivo X Fold. We have a fantastic day, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, because we've got some first look at the Galaxy S23 Ultra, which is due to be out maybe sooner than thought. We're gonna talk about that as well. So let's just dive right into all this information. Before we jump into the S23 Ultra, check this out. This is a display Samsung and Intel are working on putting out, and it's a literally rollable, it looks like it's gonna be a laptop or tablet of some sort, but it's gonna be some kind of rollable display that comes out hopefully in the near future from Samsung and Intel. What do you guys think about that? Is that something you'd be interested in? Let me know in the comments down below. Now for the meat. You've had your appetizer, now let's eat some meat, or fake meat, whatever you eat as your main course. Let's check this out. So here we go. This is the Galaxy S23 Ultra. There's a couple of key takeaways from this, but this is what it looks like thus far. And when you look at it really quickly, you might not notice a whole lot of difference, because it does look quite similar to an S22 Ultra. But one of the things you might notice is that the S23 Ultra, as Ice Universe has pointed out, the chin bezel is very, very narrow, maybe even record narrow for a Samsung device, which might make it look really, really cool. Also, a very unexpected discovery is that if the rendering is correct, it seems that the S23 Ultra is 4 bezels of equal width as well, to come in comparison with something like iPhone has. But yeah, looking very, very sleek and sexy thus far. But again, if you looked at it real quick, you probably wouldn't notice much of a difference. Here's a quick look at the S22 and S23. You'll notice one of the big differences, the cameras on the back. I think it looks better now. It's a cleaner look on the S23 for the cameras, but overall, both kind of look very similar on the front there, but ultimately the cameras do look cleaner, I think, at least on the S23. Continuing with the S23 information, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is fast-paced, so this is directly leading to an overall advance of the release time of the new Android flagship mobile phones. There will be models released in November, and Ice Universe even thinks the S23 will be released even earlier. So could we see an S23 that's released at the end of 2022 or even earlier in 2023? I guess we'll have to wait and see. We kind of hear this every year, and it always ends up happening to come out around the same time. It always does. So I kind of don't think it's going to come out any earlier than it has. Maybe if it does, it'd be like 2 weeks, which isn't going to be anything crazy. But to add on to that, he also said that one of the few differences the S23 series may enhance the audio system. At the bottom, a microphone hole has been added, and the 2 microphone holes are symmetrically distributed on both sides of the Type-C. In addition, the SIM card slot is still at the bottom, 100% confirmed. So S23 Ultra, again, when you talk about the things that we just mentioned there, it's not a huge upgrade so far what we're looking at. I mean, oh wow, the microphones are a little bit better sounding. Great, they already sound pretty good on the S22 Ultra. Some smaller bezels, whatever. I mean, again, it's kind of cool. Don't get me wrong. This is stuff I wouldn't mind having, but it's not stuff that's good. That's for the regular person. Is gonna be like, oh, I need to upgrade to this. Better performance. S22 Ultra is already a really, really fast phone. Now, if the S23 Ultra brings, you know, better battery life, better performance, better heat distribution of, you know, keeping it a cooler phone. Okay, those are some nice things as well. But our first story of the day has to do with the successor to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and that is the iPhone 15 Ultra. That's right. First of all, they are going to change the name from the Pro Max to the Ultra. But regardless, they're already hearing some preliminary specs for the new iPhone 15 Ultra. So let's check these out. Now, these are coming from Majin Buu, who is I guess a leaker of some sort. I never heard of him, but regardless, he's a leaker, and saying, according to what is reported to my source, iPhone 15 Ultra will have two front cameras, so two front-facing cameras, USB-C port for charging. We'll start with 256 gigs of storage as a base amount for the Ultra. The iPhone 15 Pro instead will always start with 128 gig and will also have USB-C, but only one front camera. So preliminary reports, next iPhone are going to have a USB-C port. I think it's one of the huge takeaways. And then also the two cameras in the front to maybe help with 3D imaging, or I don't know, maybe one's a completely ultra wide, which would be really cool. I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing, but kind of interesting to see what the potential of the next iPhone 15 Ultra may be. Next up in the ongoing tale of broken Galaxy Z Fold 4 phones, or Z Fold phones for that matter. This is the kind of the weirdest one. It looks all wavy and crazy, and supposedly the guy didn't even do anything with it, but I found this on Reddit like I usually do. And this guy, unfortunately, did this to his display. As you can see, it's like pretty wild. Like, I am not understanding at all what he actually did to this. It's like a wavy mess of craziness. I guess Samsung won't cover it. He lives in another country. He doesn't live in the US, but he basically said that he did not remove the screen protector, and that Samsung said that there was ink leakage due to heavy pressure on the inner screen. When they claimed it would not happen if the phone is used normally, so it will not be covered by warranty. And he's been going back and forth with Samsung saying, hey, I didn't do anything to this phone. You guys should be covering it for free. They have since dropped their price to get it fixed in half. I don't even know what the original price was or the half price is, so I can't say. But ultimately, kind of lame, especially if he didn't do anything to it and it still is under manufacturer's warranty and Samsung's not covering it, and he's got to go through this much trouble. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Next up is some good news about the Galaxy Z Fold 4 line, and it's a final big update being pushed out to us. Not a final one, but finally an update being pushed out to us. It's hitting South Korea right now, but it's a big boy update. It's basically like 1.2 gigabytes, pushes us up to the September security update line, and we're honestly almost already in October, but still, usually when they get this update out, like the major one, then they start kind of getting them out. It takes them a while to get the first update out, but then once they do, it kind of flows pretty naturally after every month or so. So very good news about this. Not too much information in the update as to what they've added, but you get to think some big stuff because it is a 1.2 gig update. As more information rolls out about that, I will definitely let you guys know. And our final story of the day is all about the Galaxy S23 Ultra phone, and how Ice Universe is calling this the best designed Samsung phone of all time. Forever, the best one. And I don't know, I have to admit, when I see this, especially compared to what we have with the 22 Ultra, I just don't see a big change. And I want to roll through some of these reasons and show a little bit of differences between the two. So let's just dive right in. This information, again, comes from Ice Universe and from OnLeaks, who put out the initial leak of the phone. First of all, he's saying the bezel data. I know he said the bezels are smaller. So first of all, he said that bottom bezel is a little bit smaller, at least millimeter wise. You're looking at 3.6 versus 2.8 and 1.9 versus 2.6. So there is some differences. The side bezel on the right or left, whatever you want to call it, is a little bit bigger on the 23 Ultra, 2.4 versus 2.3, but ultimately the bezels overall are smaller on the 23 Ultra, to continue on with that, regarding the chin and curved display, the 23 Ultra is less curved and closer to a flat screen. And that's what we've been hearing, is that the 23 Ultra will be less curved than its predecessors. So I guess that's a good thing. And overall, I do want a flat display, and if they do give this to us, honestly, I'll be a little bit more happier. I do like the flat display that iPhone gives us. I don't think it'll be that flat, but definitely flatter than they have in previous generations of the Galaxy phones. To continue on with that, here is a side-by-side comparison, 22 Ultra versus 23 Ultra render. And when you look at these, not a huge difference. If you just looked at them real quickly, you probably wouldn't notice any difference. 23 Ultra does look a little bit flatter. And dare I say, I know it's not right, but a little bit skinnier maybe? I don't know, it's weird. It kind of looks like that to me, but ultimately, definitely flatter ever so slightly. And I think that's gonna be maybe one of the big takeaways design-wise on the 22 Ultra phone, is that, you know what, it is less curved, newer processors, slightly updated cameras. Again, very evolutionary versus revolutionary. We are stuck in this now, it seems like, with phone manufacturers for whatever reason, because they don't want to push the envelope, because they don't want to raise their prices too much, because prices are too expensive for parts, because of everything that's been going around in the world. Whatever the main reason is, we were kind of stuck in that, and we're not going to see any huge advances, it seems like, from anybody. First story of the day is about the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. They're being announced this coming week, October 6th. But what about our friends in India? One of my biggest audiences. It looks like you guys are going to be able to order it, at least pre-order it, on October 6th, starting at 9:30 p.m. You guys, I guess, call it pre-book. We call it pre-order. It says Google Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, get ready to pre-book on October 6th at 9:30 p.m. So this is great news for the folks over in India. In America, it's going to be the same day as well, I would have to guess. They're going to announce it on October 6th. It's probably right after the event. Everything will go up for pre-order. That's Pixel 7, 7 Pro, Pixel Watch. You can already order their Pixel Buds Pro, which are amazing buds. I definitely recommend picking those up when you do it. I'd also expect them to do some major, at least in America, and probably other places as well, I really expect them to do some amazing trade-ins, especially since this phone isn't a huge difference, at least spec-wise, versus the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. So I really expect them to do some major trade-in gifts for it, and then also probably some nice pre-order gifts, meaning freebies. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. I will let you guys know more as that stuff comes on to us. And without further ado, let's get into the second story of the day. And that is all about, actually, second and third story are both about the Galaxy S23 Ultra, and they're both about the camera. The first one is kind of an interesting thing. It's something Apple has been using in some of their phones lately, a technology in their phones for their cameras, and that is a Samsung patent is hinting at sensor shift telephoto cameras for their Galaxy phones, which probably will hit with the Galaxy S23 potentially. What that is it's just a different way of stabilizing the cameras so you can potentially get more stable videos and photos when you're using it. It's a shift from OIS, and it's this, so again, I guess Apple uses it, and then Samsung's going to begin to use it as well. We'll keep our eyes peeled on this. It might not make it into the S23 lines of phone, but you'll probably see it in the very near future. And our last story of the day is pretty freaking big. We've been talking about camera sensors on Samsung phones for a while, and the biggest they have is on the S22 Ultra at 108 megapixels, and it looks like officially, at least per Galaxy Club, the S23 Ultra will best that with a brand new 200 megapixel main camera. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to take better photos. As you know, more megapixels doesn't always mean a better photo, but it does mean that they'll obviously have higher megapixels. Now, what can they do with this? I think the major thing they're going to do, right now we have 100x zoom on the S22 Ultra. I think they're going to increase it. I think they're going to use that resolution, not so much to just take a higher quality photo in terms of megapixels, but I think they're going to allow you to take more of a zoom. It's my guess. I could be wrong. And I don't even know why. Would you want 200x zoom? Maybe you would, but I think they're going to increase it maybe to 125, 150, or maybe even 200x zoom. That's my guess on there. I think that's gonna be the major takeaway on the S23 Ultra, is that we're gonna get more improved space zoom. That it has to do with the Pixel phones, the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. I've been talking about that there's probably going to be some great deals going on, have them be with trade-in offers and pre-order gifts, something akin to what we're seeing with Samsung, and it looks like that's about to come true. We should probably hear more information definitely by this week, because October 6th is the official unlaunching of this. And here we go. This is coming from Roland Quand. Roland Quand is saying the following, that Pixel 7 Pro pre-order gifts in some countries include the Pixel Watch. Pixel 7 pre-order gifts in some countries include the Pixel Buds Pro, and he put red UK. So ultimately what we're looking at, in some countries, you'd have to assume the United States, you'd have to assume Canada, a lot of the European countries, maybe India, hopefully India, that if you buy the Pixel 7, you'll get the Pixel 7, but you're also going to get the Pixel Watch for free, the Pixel 7 Pro. You'll get the watch for free. And then if you get the Pixel 7, the regular one, you'll get the Pixel Buds Pro for free. So it's kind of that incentive program, like, hey, I want to get a new phone, but I'm kind of on the, and maybe I won't, but I can get a free watch, or I can get some Buds Pro for free. It's a great incentive. I think last year they gave the Pixel Buds A for free, if I'm not mistaken. So now they're kind of upping the ante in both regards to be able to get a nice watch or their premium buds, which are great. That's a win-win on there. So I'm really stoked about this, and I can't wait till we hear more about pre-order trade-ins as well. I really think they're gonna knock it out hard. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I really think they're going to try to get a lot of sales this year and from here on out. They see how it does with Samsung. Samsung's like, oh, my pre-orders are so great, blah, 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 blah. They obviously, Android side really, I don't think they can do it as much as, Apple can just be like, hey, we're putting a phone out and we're not giving you anything with it. Take it. And then people just buy it. On the Android side, we've been groomed, we've been pushed in that direction to be like, hey, we're having a pre-order. Here's some great pre-order gifts, especially the way Samsung does it, especially if you do it directly through the manufacturer. I assume Google's gonna have something similar. If you buy it through Google, you'll get these gifts, and maybe if you do it through the carrier as well, but definitely some great stuff going on thus far. But first, let's talk about the Pixel Watch, and let's talk about some details that have come out, because I'm not gonna put these pictures up because they're official pictures of like marketing stuff, and I don't want to get in trouble with them, but I do want to tell you what's coming out for the Pixel Watch. So first of all, what's going to come inside the box is, when you get the Pixel Watch, you get the watch itself and a sports band. It looks like it'll be gray. I don't know if you'll be able to get other, I know you can get other colors of the band, so I guess the base version will just be gray. And then it will also come with a charging cable, so if you're familiar with the Google the Galaxy Watch cable, it's going to be like that. Will not come with a charging brick inside. Also, they talk about how there is Corning Gorilla Glass protection for the display. They talk about up to 24 hours of battery life, customizable watch faces to your liking, and you can receive calls and text and all that. Also, it does come with we mentioned this before, but it says keep up with your health and fitness with Fitbit. So Fitbit will be an integral part with the software and integration of monitoring your sleep quality and heart rate and your exercise overall. And then lastly, it will come with Google Assistant built in. You won't have to do anything that. Google Wallet. Also, you'll get real-time route guidance on Google Maps, which is a great thing. And you'll get things done easily with Gmail and Google Calendar. I do want to say, I actually, this watch is getting a little bit of heat. One, because of the price, starting off at the $349, but then also it using an older processor. But I want to throw something out there. I think the majority of people that get this watch are going to really, really like it. I think they're going to be like, you know what? I like this better than most of the watches on the market, especially on the Android side. I really feel like this is going to be one of those things that you might not be blown away by the specs, but you're blown away by the experience. And our last story of the day has to do with the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. And I wanted to talk about some updated stuff with the camera. So first of all, we showed specs a couple days ago on the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, and it turns out that information is spot on, 100%, because now I'm seeing the official, marketing materials of it, and it's literally exactly the same. But a couple things I didn't mention were the zoom. So the zoom has been improved, at least on the Pixel 7 Pro, I believe on the Pixel 7 as well, but definitely the 7 Pro. So on the regular 6 Pro, you could go up to 20x zoom, but with the Pixel 7 Pro, you're now gonna be able to do 30x. You'll be able to do 30x video and 30x photo, and it's supposed to be really, really good quality. And then on the Pixel 7, it'll be 8x on video and photo. So very good stuff right there. I do like, sometimes anyway, capturing a video or a photo from a distance away and it looking still great quality, and that would be the major thing. Beyond that, let me just take a quick look. Nothing else stood out that was different than what I had mentioned. IP68 water resistance, I don't think we mentioned that. Face unlock for both phones, so that would be something new. That's not on the other Pixel phones. Face unlock will be coming to the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. Beyond that, again, everything else is pretty much what we've already said about the phone. So what do you guys think? Pixel 7, 7 Pro, Pixel Watch. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Pixel Watch will be a dud or a stud? Let me know in the comments down below. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.